Couldn't mind with that.
I'm going to get Christine Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Denby Parish Council's Amenities Committee meeting held on the 4th of March 2026 at the Old School in Barn Green. And we have a full house, which is absolutely wonderful, so that's great. And also a warm welcome to Councillor Griffins, who may take part in debate tonight, may not vote because his registration isn't completed as yet, which he's aware of. But we look forward to your participation. And welcome to our members of public. So there are no apologies. Declarations of interest arising from this agenda. Members and officers are invited to declare any relevant interests. Notwithstanding this item, members may subsequently declare an interest at any point during the meeting. Does anybody wish to declare an interest? Thank you very much. So moving to the minutes, item 3, minutes of the previous meeting, 2 sets of minutes to approve. Our meeting, committee meeting on the 21st of January and our extraordinary on the 25th of February. You'll all have had a chance to look at those. Any comments on the minutes? Councillor Betts?
Yes, only a comment that apologies, I missed the extraordinary email. So I was absent without apologies, so apologies.
Apologies for your lack of apologies. That wasn't apology. Thank you very much. So, just reminding that only those who were present can vote to sign the minutes. So can I have a show of hands in which case for the minutes for the meeting on the 21st of January? Everybody okay with those? Okay, thank you very much. And for those present for the extraordinary meeting on the 25th of February, can I have a show of hands, everyone who's happy with those minutes? Thank you very much. Okay, item 4 on the agenda, the public participation session. The meeting will recess for not more than 15 minutes to allow any members of public to address the meeting in respect of items on this agenda. Do we have any members of public who'd like to address us? Okay, and if you'd be happy to say your name for the recording so we know who's speaking, and also which matter you wish to address. So which matter would you like to address on the agenda? At Goodman Fields, okay. And gentleman in the middle, which?
9.4.
9.4. Cricket Club. And Kevin, you wanted to address as well?
No. So 6.3.
6.3. Okay. So we'll take them in. Goodman Fields is item 8. I'm going to take them in numerical order. So 6.3 in actual fact is the SCAT. So your floor first, Kevin. Thank you.
Yes, for the record, Kevin Monk, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, David Scotland. Reference 6.3, I believe that is a reference to our request for the Derby Field hire at Kimmel Lane, because there is a report by a councillor, I don't know which one it is, or a report from somebody that's talking about detail around pricing. I read the report, confused me. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm just going to say I'm here to answer any questions and to work out what all that means. That makes sense.
Yeah, sure. That's great. That's great. Thank you very much. And then it will be item number 8, which is Goodman Fields, which is this gentleman.
First of all, I want to thank the council for publishing the QR codes flagging on Facebook and on those schools. That was an action from the previous meeting. We actually published it, which was very useful. Thank you very much. And also, the question is, last meeting talked about the broken bridge, and it hasn't come up again on these minutes. I assume that the quotes have not been received yet for the
Working on it.
Sorry?
Working on it.
Okay. And another one, just to listen to what's being said about the sewage and the fences. Thank you.
And item 9.4, gentleman in the middle.
Yes, Nick Whiteway, I'm representing Denby Cricket Club. I was hoping for a few more players, to be honest. It's just really from today getting out. Thanks very much for the showers being clean in use this season, which has gone down really well with the lads. So that's thanks for that. I just really was today just trying to gauge what support you can give to us. We are struggling as a team to prepare the square. We do midweek sort of prep and Saturday morning prep of the pitch, but for all our efforts we've got poor equipment, not a lot of experience, and we're getting scored really low by the Hampshire Cricket League for the state of the pitch, probably the first one in the league. It's a bit demoralising for some of us because we've got time. So really what we could, sorry. Yeah, no, carry on. Sorry.
Sorry, continue.
It's really hearing out what we've. I'll send an email in with sort of proposals of what potentially we need, and they've just seen really what the outcome is today, and how we can support as well from our end.
Yeah. Okay.
The team's been in existence since 1903, and it's on the verge of potentially not continuing, which would be quite a shame.
Okay, thank you very much. Do any councillors have questions for our members of public on these matters? Councillor Betts.
Thank you for the cricket ground. I just want to double check. I don't remember exactly on the report, but how long approximately, how much time or how many hours do you think it needs per week? Over and over, how long?
Yeah, so the season starts May, goes through till end of August. But obviously prep of the square needs to happen before sort of April time, and that's probably, I mean I'm no expert really, but we're putting in about sort of through the season, we're putting in about 6 hours a week to try and just roll it, prepare it, be able to mark up on a Saturday morning before the game and get it ready that way. But the initial rolling and there's a bit of work. It was all on the email, the guys sort of gave me big details, but yeah, a few hours initially, but it gets less as you go through. It's just the initial prep for the square. It's quite important. It's not very flat. You do need to sort of get a bit of work on it early doors, which would help us through the season.
I nearly put my hand up to ask a question.
Yeah,
I did.
It's all been, it's got work every year. We've had people doing
Nick, so your report did say that the cricket ground is graded as the worst in the Hampshire League, and that is with you putting in 6 hours work. What do you perceive it would require to make it not the worst? Because if it's the worst with your 6 hours work, that would imply there's a lot more hours involved.
I think it's more to do at the start, before the season starts, preparing the square is the thing. Once you get a decent flat square, it's easier to do the pitch work through the season. And we're only playing every other week.
Yeah.
Normally, well, sometimes we play two weeks running at home, but it's normally home and away. So we have a week where some of us will be up there a couple of hours for 2 days a week, and there'll be 3 of us, that's for 6 hours. When it's not raining, that's quite a problem at the moment, it's quite around.
Okay. Any other questions from councillors? Okay. All right. So we will move on to. So with committee's permission, we'll take item 6.3 first. Sorry, I thought I didn't say that. Okay, so the public participation is closed. I think maybe I mumbled it. So yeah, with committee's permission, we'll take item 6.3 first. So Kidmore Field. to consider a request to hire Kidmore Field to consider and determine action. So this does relate indeed to the request from, or the need for the Scouts to hire the field for the Dinosaur Derby, as they have in previous years. Once again, you'll have seen this supporting documentation. So comments, please. Councillor Betts.
Yes, so just, I wanted to check I understood the report correctly, because same as a member of the public, I was a little bit.
Okay. Let me see if I can help. Okay, so we have a new booking system, as you know, for sporting events. That separates Kidmore Field into two halves, each are hireable separately. And our clerk will stop me when I'm wrong.
You're doing all right.
Or she'll be very proud she briefed me correctly. Okay, it's in two halves. So if you want to book the field, you would need to book each half. The Dinosaur Derby is not a sporting event, and every year they have literally hired the field in total for that sum of money for the entire field. For effectively, our booking system will force them to pay twice as much as they've usually paid.
Okay.
And we need to discuss and decide what we wish to do about that.
Okay, thank you.
Is that clear?
That was my intention.
Did I do well?
Yes, you did.
Thank you. Okay, so Councillor Ranger.
Because the booking system has been fairly new in setup and design, and historically, whilst the Dinosaur Derby, which is a very popular annual event, is not necessarily classified as a sporting booking, I actually think that the council should honour the fact that the booking should be one booking and not two separate bookings. And we need to modify the booking system for future similarities, either this or other similar events. That would be my thinking currently.
Thank you. At the moment, because it is not a sporting event, our clerk is able to handle a booking as a non-sporting event that would do what you suggest. Councillor Betts.
Yes, so I think if we were to amend the booking system, we might trip ourselves up, because there may be an occasion where both archery and scouts are rented individually, and then that might put, but absolutely don't think that the scouts should be charged more. I think that as it's not a sporting, we should just handle it separately. I mean, really, actually, I genuinely don't think we should charge them at all. Really.
Can I ask our clerk, as this is not a sporting event, do you perceive there being a difficulty in the future with handling things like this as a non-sporting event, or do you think that will continue for some length of time like that?
I would imagine that anything that isn't an easy sporting event will not go through the system. It will come through me, through the old system. So there's this, the 10k run at the moment also falls outside that, because it's an annual sporting event. The system is really designed for things like the football and the cricket and the archery, where it's a weekly hire. And the system then loads it all, it then prints all the invoices, and it's all very nice and easy. It doesn't cope for the one-off specials, those would still come through me.
And the cost of the field that we charge, proposing to charge Scouts, what sum are we talking about? £49. We have
£49.50 per half day. So in total it's about £145, I think.
So we have... Councillor Clay?
If discussions are finished, I'm ready to make a proposal.
I was just going to remind, we've had two suggestions. So we had the suggestion from Councillor Ranger that we make no change to what we've always done. There's a hint of a suggestion from Councillor Betts there that we don't charge at all. Councillor Clay.
Let's turn that hint into
A stronger
hint.
suggestion. So what I need then, so I'll just remind that the cost for the entire day is £145.
That's for a day and a half, sorry, that's going from the Saturday lunchtime all the way through to Sunday evening.
For a day and a half, £145. For our Scouts, our largest youth movement in the village. So, proposals. Let's move to those. Councillor Clay.
So I'd like to propose that the Scouts continue to receive the 50% discount moving forward. They only pay half.
Good question, is it 50% discount they're receiving?
Well, they're paying for half, so if you want to put both together, then you would have a community for two. So if you split down the middle,
So they're paying 50 at the moment, not the 150.
okay, so change 50% to half if the wording needs to.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not
The
still-
The problem is that we've
Yeah.
been told it's now close to 150. And I was inquiring if they can charge 50, so that would be a third,
Yeah.
not half. That's what I was trying to clarify.
I see.
Could I possibly suggest that your proposal the difficulty is putting the figure 50% or half, quite simply says charged as previously. Which doesn't mean the amount, but the manner, and now our clerk's going to tell me why that's not possible.
Might I suggest that it would be easier to say that we will charge them for only one part of the field while enabling them to use both parts of the field?
Councillor Clay,
Therefore, I withdraw my proposal.
accepted, yes. And Councillor Betts.
Yes, I'd like to make a proposal that we don't charge the Scouts, especially mindful this year, one-off, we have agreed not to have a summer party, and we have a budget line item, which is a community event line item, that I think can be, this is 1/10, less than 10% of that line item, I think it can be generously repurposed. So I propose this year one-off, revisit next year, no charge this year.
Before we jump into seconding, so we can make sure we've fully discussed, does anybody have any comments they'd like to make towards Councillor Betts' proposal? Councillor Bowman.
The only thing I would say is it's a community good that the Derby is. It brings a lot of people into the village that don't live here. That benefits the various small businesses that we have in the village. As far as I'm aware, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but the money being raised goes towards a new scout hut, which is thereabouts going to be a more benefit to the village. As you said, it's the largest youth group in this village. God knows that we've got enough problem with youth disenfranchisement. I think the Scout Group does an incredibly good job of teaching discipline to the next generation. The more we can support, the better.
Does committee mind if I ask Kevin a question? Can you confirm that the Scout movement within Denmead is still actively growing above the national average rate?
I cannot answer that one. All I can say
It was.
Yeah, I don't know what the national rate is, we've just done our census. So globally, across the country, every single group's done a census. Don't know the answer to that. All I can answer is in the 4.5 years I've been part of the Scout Group, we've gone from 90 youth to this year our census was 155. Okay? And they all have to, near enough, come within our catchment. We can start taking outside, but we are, and our waiting list is a third of that.
Okay.
We could add a third. if we
Thank
had
you.
more, just to put in perspective.
Thank you very much. Councillor Ranger.
Going back to Councillor Betts' suggestion, or I don't think it was a proposal, forgive me.
It moved to a proposal. Yeah, it's a proposal.
I would actually consider supporting that on the basis that for a one-off for year one this year, on the proviso that it does get revisited, so we don't want to set any precedent that anything's free moving forward, but for this particular year, coupled with the fact that there is no planned summer party, although there are other events being planned, I would consider supporting that proposal for year one only.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to put my proposal back in that we go, that we do only half.
Okay. Okay.
I
So
propose that the charge is only half moving
Right.
forward.
so what I do in this, Councillor
Can I just
Boland.
ask a question in terms of cash flow in these terms? So what we're proposing at the moment is that we don't generate a revenue, it's not costing the local taxpayer anything, is it? Thank you, sorry.
There will be staff costs incurred for the keys because we have to unlock the gate for them on the Saturday lunchtime and then lock the gate after they've left on the Sunday evening. Because you don't hold keys, do you?
Thank you. Yes, and that is true. Does committee mind if I ask? I saw his hand waving there. I'm sure he's got something to say on the key situation. Does committee mind if I open for Kevin? Kevin.
Yeah, so there has been a request by myself to councillors at this part of this committee that the charge for the key is not done going forward, and that council trust the scouts to have a key to lock and unlock a gate, rather than charging us more than the field plan for staff to turn up for 2 minutes to lock, unlock,
Yes.
lock, unlock.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Understood.
We-
The problem with this is that is not on the agenda to discuss that item, so painfully we can't, I don't think, discuss whether we make a change to that process. I don't think we can. I'm going to make the decision that we cannot discuss around the charge for that tonight. Councillor Clay, have you got any guidance, advice on that one?
As for the key is coming up in the future agenda item, but not for this one.
I know. So that could... That agenda's not published yet, is it? No. Right. We can't discuss that one any further right now. Okay, so I have 2 proposals which I will take in order. So Councillor Bett's proposal first, which was that we don't charge the... Yours would be an amendment to the proposal, because the proposal was that we didn't charge
I specified year 1.
year 1. Okay, as long as we're clear on that then. So yeah, so that we do not charge for this year.
Yes.
Okay. So Councillor Bett's proposal, which would require a seconder. Councillor
Second.
Seconded. Can we have a show of hands? All those in favour of that proposal. So
3, 4, 5, 6.
and
Okay.
we got it. Was Councillor Betts' hand up? You can.
Yes.
And against and abstaining. Thank you very much. The motion is carried. There will be no charge this year for the Scouts for the Dino Derby. This year only.
3 times much, actually. Oil prices.
Okay. Thank you. Right, we will now take. I think we come to 8, isn't it? Goodman Fields. Kevin, I know you want to stay, but you can go. We let you go. I know. I know. Always good to see you. Thank you for coming.
It's been emotional. I'm going to go home.
Bye bye.
See you later.
Okay, so with committee's approval, we will now take item 8 on the agenda, Goodman Fields. Which we have 8.1, 2 and 3. 3 items. Once again, you will all have absorbed your documentation, quite a lot of writing. So 8.1 is for us to receive the report from our amenities clerk, consider and determine action. So open for councillors' comments and discussion.
How often do they ditch the sewage into that stream?
Too often,
Regularly.
yeah. Although the works that have been undertaken hopefully are going to improve it. I don't see that they're going to stop it completely, but only time will tell from the data that gets published from the spills as to whether the work that's been being done has any success. Councillor Betts.
Yeah, we need to be careful when we're measuring that because they've done that in late February, so if we do 6 months before, 6 months afterwards, then it's dry. So we need to be careful how we measure that success.
Well, sorry if I may say, Councillor Betts, it's for them to measure and us to monitor. Yeah, we're not. Yeah.
How people pay enough money to the water companies, so where is all their profit going to prevent this happening?
These are all the common long-term discussions, aren't they? In terms of the agenda item, we need to actually discuss very specifically what's on that. Councillor Ranger.
Combination of things. So, whilst this is a statement on the notes in terms of just validating what we were talking about at a previous meeting about what we could and couldn't do and seeking legal advice, I think the committee will also be aware, maybe the members of the public are also aware, that we have now set up a public consultation with Southern Water for Monday the 16th of this month, May, in March, not May, sorry, in the Ashton Pavilion, and we have confirmation that Southern Water execs, together with the Environmental Agency, together with hopefully Hampshire County Council, will also be in attendance. And it looks like and validates the fact that when we were talking about it last time round, that everything that we've done to date is on the nail in terms of the notices that we didn't really have to put up, but we did. We sought legal advice in terms of whether we should close the field or not. We don't have to. And we've escalated that to the Environmental Health and Department of Health as well, which we did. And it's certainly got the MP's attention, Suella Braverman, because she's sending her assistant to the meeting on the 16th of March as well. So I don't think there's anything else we could have done more in terms of the condition. And I think it's behoved to all of the residents to look at, as well as the council, to look at the regular Southern Water stats that come out on a daily basis and to challenge it through your own mechanisms, whether it's direct to Southern Water or their customer services team, who also will be at the meeting on the 16th of March. Some of us councillors have already met with some of the team, and we met with them at the Water Legal Facility. So I'm encouraged by the fact is that these decisions that we made back 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, were the right ones based on the legal input that we've received. So hats off to everybody involved.
Yeah. I mean, I think the only ongoing action that we might like to consider is that we regularly, subjective, would have to agree how regularly, is to republish the QR codes, and rather than it being the parish council's responsibility to alert people that they are aware that they can check that QR code themselves and try and get that into sort of their standard thing until we're happier with the whatever the long-term result is. Francis?
We have got them up at Goodmansfield on the notice board, so people with smartphones can scan them while they're at the field.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. Councillor Griffin.
Is that water tested on the storage? Because
Well,
if people are out there walking their dogs, they're going through the water. I have seen dogs actually swimming in the deeper part of it. And would they come back to the council and say, my dog's ill and here's my bill?
According to this, no.
No, they cannot. In terms of how often do they test the water, I don't think that's the measurement. If there's been an emergency spillage because it's overflowed, which is what, that will be notified on the water board's live systems to say that there is an active spill. If there's an active spill, it's polluted. It's simple as that. So, Councillor Betts, did I see your hand up? You were nodding. Okay. Councillor Clegg.
I'm ready for proposal, Chair. That's
Yes, please. If everybody has finished what they wish to say, yeah.
I propose that we take on board TOSA's recommendations and that we continue the current measures that Council are putting in place, and where necessary we can action recommendations of TOSA's if we feel it necessary to do so. Currently I think we're doing all the right things, QR code, we are informing on social media, there's no need to for closure of the field. I think that I'd make that's my proposal, so we undertake that.
Have you shortened that, Francis?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to get the final wording of the... Have you got a shortened version?
I've got here the proposal is to take on board TOSA's advice, to keep doing what we're doing and take further advice from TOSA as if required.
Do we have a seconder? Yes, okay, so can I have a show of hands, all those in favour? And that's unanimous. Thank you very much. So item 8.2, fences at Goodman Field, to receive a report from our clerk to consider and determine action. So once again, you will have seen the responses on there in red.
Sorry, I put quite a lot of background in, but that's
Yeah,
what TOSA's
so-
needed to know before
So
they
that is
asked.
our legal response. And so consider and determine action. Any comments from... Councillor Betts.
Having read the report, I don't actually think it's feasible for us to take no action at all. We don't own the fences, we can't do anything with them, and we're also not obligated to under the law. So, I mean,
Who does own the fences?
The adjoining landowners.
landowners. The forest doesn't very helpful.
It's a shared boundary.
No, it's not. It's not a shared responsibility on the boundary.
Denby Parish Council doesn't own any fences.
Surely it's then to let the landowners aware that their obligations.
Councillor Ranger.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think the only thing we can do is to notify the landowners that this issue has come to light. We've investigated it from the council's perspective. It's not our responsibility, it's not our offence. However, I think that Mr. Landowner or Mrs. Landowner, you have a duty of care to repair your boundary or your fencing, and that's it.
I don't think we can say to them they have a duty of care. But I think it's a very good suggestion that is an action that we write to the landowners, notifying them of the issues with the fencing. Councillor Clay? Councillor Vickers, I think you were first.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with Councillor Ranger. I think I believe there is a duty of care because I think that we're not only talking about dogs and the dog life is valuable, but equally, more importantly, the child. And I think we do have a duty of care to let the landowner know and to make every effort because I think if something awful happens along that Hamilton Road and a child did get onto that road, I think it would just be catastrophic. So I do think actually we do have a duty of care, and I do think we do need to tell the advise the landowner of it.
So I think where we're all leaning to is that our clerk would write to the landowners, informing them of the condition of the fencing. Councillor Clay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, was that a proposal you made, Councillor Ranger, or just a suggestion?
I haven't got a proposal.
People have still got hands up. Yeah. Right, Councillor Betts.
This what's gone in my head.
It happens. It happens. It's just a bit too long. Councillor Boland.
So the two things that the lens I'm approaching this through is the red top test. What happens if something goes wrong and this ends up on the front page of a red top tabloid? Are they going to care that a private landlord or landowner on one side of the fence, or are they going to go after the council? whether we are legally in the clear or not. Second one, HSE, so Health and Safety Executive, the burden of proof will be on us to say that we have done everything reasonable within our thing to do, not what is legally required, to morally required to do. So those are the two lenses that I would approach this problem from.
Councillor Betts?
I think I was along the same lines, and in terms of what we can do, if we can't repair the fences, we should potentially make people aware that it's not a fully
Yes.
secure field.
Yes.
So I think people are under the impression that it is a fully secure field. I think anyone who's maybe lost their dog in a hedge probably won't do. So maybe it's another sign at the entrance of Goodman's, just to alert that, please note fence is not entirely secure.
It's a very good point.
Sorry, but on that is also then incumbent upon dog owners and parents to be made aware that this is not a secure environment, and therefore you are obliged to make sure that your kids are safe, and if you have a dog, that you have sufficient recall.
Yes.
I mean, it's not legal to put your dog off lead anyway if you don't have recall on a dog.
I think these are sensible suggestions. So where I'm at now with writing down the things is that there would be a letter to landowners advising them of the defects within the fencing, and that we would make the public aware, possibly backed up with a social media post as well, that the field is not secure for your animals and children. And I think that is, once again, it's a bit like going back to 8.1, isn't it? That we're trying to dot the I's and cross the T's of every responsible action to protect public. When we actually don't have any action we can physically take outside of that. Is any Councillor Ranger?
So I propose, the fact is that we write to the landowners to advise them of the situation, and when we socially and or physically posts in the field saying that it's not children and dog secure friendly in that respect.
May I, before that's seconded, may I, so it's not an amendment then, that we post on social media and physical signs?
Yeah, that's what I said.
I was just compacting it.
Both.
Yes, both. You got that. Councillor Vickers.
Can I just ask, is it taking on Councillor Bowden's point about the moral sort of responsibility? Is there no scope for us to sort of consider going half with the mending of the fences with the landowner?
It potentially sets a heck of a precedent. Yeah.
Should you even make a physical barrier this side agnostic of the fence, and that could take whatever clever engineering that the ground team could do, or I'm assuming it's some sort of braided wire chicken fence. It doesn't take the brain of an archbishop to go and buy some chicken wire at very cheap cost and go and braid it back in and cover the gap.
It's
but that's time and effort and money is required.
Councillor Clay.
I was prepared to second Councillor Ranger's proposal.
Okay. So have a proposal seconded. And a show of hands, all those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you, everybody. So moving to item 8.3, the bridge at Goodman's Field.
I think it was Councillor Lewington that asked for this to go on. I think it was Councillor Lewington that asked for this to go on the agenda. But I'm
Okay.
correct.
So you've seen the images of this particular bridge, and that's my one at the bottom, isn't it?
It is.
Which, when I was walking around looking at bridges, that was the one that I thought, oh my goodness. But that's been brought forward from elsewhere as well. That bridge is a dangerous bridge. It's actually in the flesh. It's a lot worse than that. Councillor Vickers, you're familiar with that one as well?
Yes, I am. I walked there on Tuesday to see it, and to be honest, I've walked Goodmansfield for a few years, and I've never actually been in that area. It's not really used by the public. It's at the very mouth of the end of the river, and I know, sort of bang on about bridges, it feels like I'm always going on about bridges. But the bridge that, that I think most people would like is really in the middle of the field. I don't see any merit of that bridge at all. I think it could be taken. I don't think that people use it. You see the path and the foliage is not very trodden in, so people are not walking that area. I would rather, if we were having some money for Goodmansfield and a bridge, the bridge to be in the middle part of the field where it links. So I also wanted to note with you, Francis, that the debris of that bridge, okay, so the post and the structure is exactly the same as the bridge that was found floating that is no longer gone, that the groundsman took away. So my point to you is that wasn't a waterways bridge, a bona fide roof. It's the same one that was the one that was supposed to have in the middle. So they were obviously done at the same time, but they're the same structure.
No, they're not. The one that was in the middle was 3 sleepers with a scaffolding pole handle.
Yeah.
This is a cross bridge that this was not put in by the ground staff, and I don't actually think this is our land. I think this is just outside the boundary of our land.
Okay.
Because our ground staff, when Sam and I went and looked at it about a month ago.
It's got the same pole though. It's got the same handrail pole that was on the middle bridge. It's sticking up in the ponds as it is now. It's literally the same path.
The bridge that was been taken away had a scaffolding pole bridge. This is a wooden.
Yeah, but the handrail is exactly
Okay.
the same. It's exactly the same.
Oh, okay. Councillor Betts. Sorry, Councillor Lewington.
I think that's a very important thing to get back to. If this is not on our land, we don't need to waste time on it.
Just a moment. So when I went and walked everywhere and came across this bridge, it certainly appeared to be part and parcel of the land that we are using as our land and obviously have for a very long time. It also appeared to me that there was a landowner's fencing here, which certainly hedgerow and stuff reinforces the visual impression that that's their land and this is our land. The title deeds are not. The issue is, I mean, clearly that landowner may not perceive that this is his land, but if we remove that bridge and he goes, "Oi, you've removed my bridge," we've actually done criminal damage to his property. Councillor Ranger.
Similar to the earlier point, really, let's discuss with the landowner. Does he think it's his bridge or not? If the land registry is not clear,
Their bridge.
sorry?
Their bridge.
Their bridge. If the land If the land registry is not clear, accepted, a short discussion with the landowner. Is it yours or is it ours? Right? And if it's ours, we do something with it. And if it's theirs, we don't do anything with it.
Okay, that sounds like a immediate way forward. Was that a proposal, Councillor Ranger?
Absolutely.
That's a seconded. Okay.
Just on the boundary, just to note, we've gone on parish online. It's literally
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, but we need to ascertain that formally with the landowner. So, and that, we can't do anything till then, I guess. Okay.
No, seconded.
Seconded, yeah.
Okay. Can we have a show of hands? All those in favour? And that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Right, so am I done with all the public participation?
No, 9.4.
9.4. So now we will bring 9.4 forward, if committee's okay with that. This is the matter relating to the cricket club, which we received the correspondence the other week, about 4 weeks ago. So, maintenance of the cricket square, to consider a request received from the cricket club for assistance with preparing the cricket square, to consider and determine action. Councillor Lewington.
The first thing that I would like to see accompanying this is some estimate of what the cost is. And I think Councillor Betts was getting into this earlier on about how many hours it might be. We need to get an idea of, I guess, in terms of man hours, what's required.
I think we had a sort of basic 6 hours a week once the square's been prepared and got ready for the season. But also the additional hours getting it to where it's just 6 hours a week to maintain it. So I don't know how we would calculate that, really. Councillor Ranger.
Not wanting to suggest that this gets deferred because we don't have a liaison party with the cricket club currently. Being unconscious that the cricket season is soon upon us right in May. Had this come to our attention a little earlier, maybe we would have had a bit more time to be able to have a thorough review of it in terms of costings and times, etc. I'm nervous that the cricket club may or may not have either the skills or the knowledge or the tools to be able to do the job themselves, and therefore they're looking for help, which is one thing. And if we did have all the tools and knowledge and stuff, then maybe we could help. However, I think that we probably need to think about the liaison party to be set up at the next full council, so that liaison group meets with the cricket club and understands what their plans are for not just this season, but for the next 1 to 3 years. Like we've done with the football club, like we've done with the bowling club, like we've done with the tennis club, etc., etc. Because I'm nervous that if we do one thing, maybe for this year, then we just got to make sure that we're not setting ourselves up to fail, or the cricket club. Definitely we don't want the cricket club to fold if it's been around for over 100 years. But, so we do owe it to the village and to the cricket club to do as what we can. However, I'd rather do it with less haste and more speed, or more speed and less haste, depending which analogy you want to use. So that would be my recommendation, is we defer until the liaison group have had a chance to sit down with more time with the cricket club to evaluate what their strategy is going forward.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it could become one though, right? I mean, I don't disagree with anything you said, Councillor Ranger. I think the problem that exists, which is fundamentally a problem for the cricket club as opposed to council per se, is I don't see, with the timescales involved, how we would be in a position to actually get anything in place, even if we were able to, for the cricket club season starting at the end of April and ending end of August. And I think that's something that we need to be very honest and upfront with to the cricket club. I don't think we can help this season. Full stop. It's blunt and it's brutal, but I think we'd be offering false hopes to them to suggest that we could. Councillor Bolam.
We asked the ground team whether they were even capable of doing this.
Yes, we have.
What was their feedback?
No.
No, they're not.
No.
So that's the simple bit then, isn't it?
It's no at the moment. It's also a lot of equipment that we'd have to buy and store to deliver a cricket playing surface, field and wicket of the correct standard that the cricket club require, that's kind of a fairly skilled job. The hard answer, Councillor Boland, is yes, it has been discussed with them, and the answer was no, they don't have the skills and they certainly don't have the time. So we would even be having to look at employment situations. Councillor Ranger.
No, I think...
Sorry, Councillor Lewington.
There are specialist companies
Yes.
that provide this as a service. I'm just flicking through here, actually. I don't know if there are any that are local to us. But it's possible we could find out what the costs are there and then agree some positions with the cricket club to share the costs.
I think one of the possibilities, for instance, Bishop's Waltham Cricket Club outsource, if we call it that, the management and preparation of their cricket green. I think it would be incumbent on the cricket club to hold those discussions with, rather than it being a council task to negotiate and discuss a maintenance contract on behalf of the cricket club. But yeah, I think that is one of the things that if I were in the cricket club, I would be looking at now if this season is a problem. As I understand it, there was a gentleman in the cricket club who until now has largely done all the maintenance, and that's not a situation that's continuing. Councillor Ranger.
Carrying on from your comment regarding Bishop's Waltham Chair and together with Councillor Lewington, after these notes were published a few days ago for this meeting, did some quick research with other local parishes about cricket clubs that either they own or they work with or they support, and there seems to be a complete mixture out there in terms of organisations, whether they do it themselves, whether they buy in the service or whether they have the parish do it. So whilst I would agree that the cricket club should take the initiative to investigate, what the local clubs do around here, Hambledon, Swanmore, etc., I still think that we should have a liaison group set up so that we can work with the cricket club to understand their medium long-term goals and not necessarily try to address this year, because you're right, I think this year may be a bit too quick for everybody, and we might have to plan accordingly for the future year, but that would be my observation.
Yeah. Councillor Clay.
Yeah, so I'm in agreement with Councillor Ranger. I believe we need to set up a liaison party so that we can return to full council with updates. In regards to the cost, I believe that if council decides to take this cost on, I've got a problem with that in the fact that we hire out the field to the cricket, and as soon as we get paid, what are we doing with that money? We're then giving it away to someone to come and do some work for us. So it's in one hand and out the other. So I would be in a position perhaps where if the cricket club did feel that they could find their own solution and subcontract it out to us, I'd be happy to look and explore that avenue. But I'm not of the mindset at the moment to go down an avenue where we share it half or all pay, because what's the point then of renting out the fields? I would just say, do you know what? Yeah, so I think the best way forward for this at the moment is to set up a liaison working party at our next full council, where that can only be done, and then we liaise with the cricket team a way moving forward where we can explore further and get perhaps some costings, etc., and some figures, and we can bring it back next time.
I know this isn't necessarily going to be what the cricket representative here tonight wants to hear, but we have to be sensible as to what can be achieved, and I think that the Councillor Clay, if you want to turn that into a proposal.
I'm happy to turn that into a proposal.
So this is that we full council, next full council, there's an agenda item to establish a cricket club liaison party. It does make me wonder if we had one of those previously, we wouldn't have been faced with this fait accompli. So it's a sensible suggestion. Is there a seconder for that proposal? Thank you, Councillor Stallard. And all those in favour? And that's unanimous.
Am I allowed to say something, or-
It,
I just want to clarify the outfits that you cut as per.
I will allow you
Yes.
to speak very quickly, if you
Yeah, I
would.
just want to
please.
clarify that continuation of the outfields being cut as normal,
Yes.
and then obviously we'll set something for the future.
Nothing changes as of.
That's, yeah, that's
Okay, all right. Thank you very much indeed. And likewise for Kevin, our Scouts representative, although we know you'd love to listen to the rest of the meeting, it goes on for quite a long time, and we won't be hurt if you leave. But thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Simon.
Good night.
Good night.
We'll be in contact.
Right, so you've done that, and we did
Yeah.
that one. Okay.
We have got a
So-
roller
so-
they can borrow.
Can I remind
So
we're
tell
still
him
recording? Okay, so now we'll go to item 5, which isn't here.
Yeah, there isn't anything. Read your item.
There isn't
5.
anything. Item 5, the Ashland Pavilion, regarding solar panels. So the motion is to refer the proposal to install solar panels to full council for consideration once a full structural survey of the pavilion has been undertaken and the recommendations from the parish office working party have been received and discussed at full council to consider and determine action. Councillor Betts. Okay, is that, would you like to make that a proposal?
We refer the proposal exactly as recommended.
And it's not defer indefinitely, because the finite end of it is when the parish office working party delivers their final report and the structural survey. Have we got a seconder for the proposal? Thank you, Councillor Vickers. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Item 6. Areas of open space. Land at Great Mead. To consider correspondence received from a resident regarding the state of land at Great Mead, and you'll have seen the photograph, to consider and determine action.
If you turn over.
Yes, if you turn over, you'll see the larger version of the photograph.
So what they
Comments?
think is muddy sticks.
Yeah, and what is, yeah, the head groundsman has had a look, and the, actually that's much clearer.
It is a
The brownness is largely tree debris, sticks, leafy bits and things, and a little bit of nibbling of the grass just in front of what look like daffodils coming up. Okay, so comments please, Councillor Boland.
I would assume this resident has driven between here and Winchester and knows that there are bits of tree that happen to be on roads because there are trees over the roads.
I can't answer for the residents' movements.
So other than that, I don't see, unless the tree is dangerous or requires focusing beyond its normal tree maintenance, what we can do about natural detritus falling from the tree.
The tree is not actually in question. That's not been raised. The mud is what has been raised.
In which case, are we going to either ban that Amazon Prime drivers or get a road sweeper? Both of those things are probably out of our
I
budget.
think, yeah. Councillor Ranger.
Assuming that the groundsman has had a look at this site, right, and therefore under their normal maintenance scheme for this particular area, because of all the recent rainwater, etc., everywhere's been a bit muddy. Most of the paths around the park have been muddy, right? So I would suggest no action. Go back to the resident accordingly and no action.
Councillor Clay.
Yeah, I agree. There's little to nothing we can really do. We could, if anything, ask our grounds team to go along with a shovel clear up, but I think that would be a waste of time, to be honest. You could look at putting dragon teeth stumps in, but they they need to be at least 1 metre away from the verge, so they would have no impact.
I'm okay. Councillor Betts.
So,
I was going to ask if anybody else understood. I didn't know what leaving large rugs everywhere was. Is that big? Is that?
I think you play rights.
I'll just remind councillors, this recording is in the public domain, and the residents may has written in with a concern that we should consider sensibly.
Especially it was worse when it was wetter, and we've now taken a dry photo. So there is a likelihood that it probably has been worse.
So one thing I would say from a ground maintenance perspective, if you look at the photograph back to where the Mini sat on the driveway, you can see it is edged tarmac with a curve. So if ground maintenance was to be done with a proper edging machine, that could be achieved, but I don't know whether our ground team have that piece of machinery. So there could be a remedy that would keep the mud from going on to the point. If you look back to where the Mini is, there is an edged curve on that.
Right, we had a proposal that we had a proposal that we actually take no action. Sorry, who seconded, please? Can I have a clear seconder? Thank you, Councillor Betts. Okay, so can we have a show of hands? All those in favour of no further action, and that's unanimous. Item 6.2, the drop post at Heathfield. To consider the quotes received for the supply and installation of the 1 metre high drop post behind the gate into Heathfield from Ashling Gardens. Consider and determine action. Yes.
Could I just say, I've been chasing Bulldog Groundworks because I wanted to check whether or not their quote included the cost of the post, and it does not. That is purely for
That's the
installation.
installation. Thank you for checking that. Okay, so we have 3 quotes. One of 612 from the aforementioned Bulldog. 510 pre-VAT.
2 quotes.
510 just for the labour to install it. We do require this drop post to stop both gates being opened and allowing access to vehicles. This quote is complete of labour, and because here's the labour, and there's the...
That's the labour and that's the post.
Yes.
So it's about the same cost in terms of labour, but they've added
That was
everything
just
else
our
in.
labour.
Yeah.
Right, no. What's the total on that one? I'm just clarifying what the total is on this second quote. Okay. And what is the post cost on that one?
Well, it'll be, I'm assuming it'll be the same as this, plus they'll need the concrete
So
and all the rest of
right.
it.
So we'll make that assumption that it's 289 and 97.
So
about
basically,
another 389, so 6 now.
so if you look at it, the basic difference is that's 515 and that's 510.
Yeah.
But because these have put everything on it, I'd be tempted to go with them.
So, sorry, we just needed to be absolutely clear from these quotes, because one of the quotes just accounts for labour, and we have to make an assumption on that the cost for the materials would be approximately the same. So we will take it that both quotes from LSF and Bulldog are comparable within £10 or £15. LSF have detailed what's involved in their works, whereas Bulldog haven't, nor have included the cost of the post, so we make that assumption. Councillor Betts.
Yeah, I prefer not to, thank you. I much prefer the second quote, even if I also know the connection. The 110171.
Yeah,
LSF.
LSF, that's it.
Okay.
It's only £5 more in terms of the actual like for like across the line items. It also details the other line items, so if we then commission the other
There's
one,
clarity.
we've got quoted, they've charged their right, so...
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Councillor Ranger.
Have we used either of these companies before?
No.
Okay. Any further comments? Anybody have a proposal? Councillor Betts.
I propose we all move forward with the answer.
Do we have a seconder? That's seconded. Can we have a show of hands to accept the LSF quote? All those in favour, and that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Item 6.4. Land and Forest Need to consider a report received by Councillor Carson to consider and determine action. Was a long report by Councillor Carson reflecting the fact that we had the presence of the members of the public to representing their issue at the last meeting, so I felt it only correct that we provide a full report from our site visit. I'm not going to read that report out. Comments? Oh, sorry, Councillor Betts.
My main comment was in the recommendations. We've really focused on aesthetic, which is lovely, but I think also we should maybe add some kind to nature type proposals if we're going to be adding or changing things to make sure that we're planting species that are native, making sure that we don't.
And I'm with you there entirely. And when Councillor Clay and myself and the head groundsman were down there, I think Councillor Clay and the head groundsman both lost count of how many times I talked about ecology and the birds and thingies, and perhaps dog roses might be considered because they're so great for wildlife.
Yeah.
Where the head groundsman agreed to come back with some proposals and plans for that planting, and to see what planting our clerk is able to obtain, because we have cost constraints too. But yes, absolutely. Any further comments, Councillor Ranger?
I propose that we accept the recommendations.
Councillor Clay?
I'm happy to second that.
Good, because you were there.
I was there.
Okay, can I have a show of hands, those in favour of... Thank you very much. So that will still be awaiting the head groundsman to come back to us on some planting suggestions. In discussion with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Sarah. Okay, moving on. We're doing very well tonight. Have I just jinxed it? Probably. Item 7, trees and hedges. Item 7.1. Okay, so trees adjacent to the Ashland Park Greenway to consider the correspondence received from a resident regarding 2 trees on the footpath adjacent to the Ashland Park Greenway to consider and discuss, determine action. You will have seen the photographs. You'll have seen the very brief communications outlining a willow and a rowan, and being asked that they are reduced in height because they are becoming dangerous with branches falling onto the path as well as our driveway. My observation of the photograph is they're not particularly big trees, and it doesn't look like a willow, so I'm not sure. Comments, please. Councillor Ranger.
I think they could do with a little haircut, but I think that's a good idea. I don't think we need much else than that. I mean, I've been through the walk on a regular basis, and there is quite a lot of debris there because of the trees, that's for sure. But I don't think it warrants anything major in terms of surgery for the trees. Maybe a slight prune, but that's it.
I'll come straight. Sorry, I think it was Councillor Lewington next, and then Councillor Vickers. I just wanted to ask our clerk: is this tree on? When is this tree? Do we know when this tree is due for its inspection on the tree rotation management plan?
It wouldn't be until the next after this nesting season, so it'd be next.
This tree is due to be looked at.
It would be October onwards.
This October onwards. Okay. Councillor Lewington.
I was just going to say, I actually walk underneath that tree many times a week and I've not actually noticed it misbehaving.
Councillor Vickers.
No, I haven't thrown any branches at it.
I too walk that thing, and I think if we, like, sadly, I know that if it's in your back garden or in your drive, it's a problem to you. I think if we look at every tree in Denise, and we do this to every tree that's felled a few leaves and twigs and branches, I think we would keep our grounds team exceptionally busy. I think sometimes homeowners have to take responsibility of just sweeping up and, you know, doing general tidiness of the little bit of land that, you know, goes into from their property. I walk this, and like Councillor Linda, every single one walked in. I don't see it as an issue at all.
I think we could also
and
spend.
I think it could wait until it's reviewed in October.
I think we could. I agree, and I think if we start attending to trees like this, we could spend our entire precept on pruning trees. We spend a fortune anyway.
So, yeah.
Our clerk wants to.
I would
speak.
just remind you, as a point of law, the resident is entitled to cut back branches that overhang their garden to the boundary, which would solve their problem.
Yes.
As long as they offer us the branches back.
We don't require them to do that.
Councillor Ranger.
On the basis of the discussion so far, I would propose that we take no action and advise that the resident that they are able to take their own measures accordingly as the clerk has just appointed.
Councillor Burts, Councillor Clay, are you all seconding?
No, I was just going to add, maybe we also, in going back to the resident, let them know that it's due for his regular.
Yeah.
I think we're setting an expectation that it's going to be done in October, and I don't think we should say anything.
Yeah.
It will be inspected as part of our tree management process.
Yes,
Strategy, sorry.
I think just to let them know that
No further action.
the tree. So I was just going to say to go back to the resident and inform that there is a tree management plan, because it might be unaware and it might allay further fears.
We can certainly do that, but yeah.
Sorry, could I also just remind them, just because we look at a tree doesn't necessarily mean we're going to do works to it.
And that's why I was saying we shouldn't say give any sort of expectation. Councillor Clay.
So yeah, I'm happy to second Councillor Ranger's proposal.
I'm sure of hands, all those in favour. That thank you. That's unanimous. Item 7.2. This is a new one that, in actual fact, I believe our head groundsman report is forward. So the condition of this large oak, you've seen the photos. It's sad. On King George V Fields, consider the quotes received for a condition report to the tree that has the trunk that looks like this and does need to be inspected, I guess. So this is not to do, this is just to make a report. Francis.
This tree, we believe, was struck by lightning a couple of years ago. You can't quite see it in the first photo, but this split goes from about 4 metres up all the way through the tree. There is concern the top is now rotting and these branches are going to start falling. The reason we are requesting, or the ground staff are requesting a report, is that it is actually covered by a TPO. So if we have an independent report that says it does need work, that will hold weight with Winchester to get them to agree to do works to it.
So we have, thank you. So we have 3 quotes. The quote from Philip Walker, I think this is the second time we've asked him to quote for something. He actually undertook the work at the DCC tree. He produced the report for that at a very reasonable price. He may be quite keen to get an inroad into doing works for us, which he certainly has come up with a very competitive price again there. Another quote there is actually from Hampshire Highways, and whilst it's the second one on the price bracket, they do all the trees across Hampshire, and they have made it clear that work comes first. So, for instance, a quote in January resulted in an ability to do the work in April, and that would be our issue with engaging with them, perhaps. And then the third quote, as I call it, from Climbers Way Tree Care, just happens to come out as the most expensive. There's Philip Walker's is by far cost-wise the cheapest, it is an opportunity for us to use him on another report and see what his work is like. Councillor Lewington.
Just checking, only one of those quotes says it includes that.
Yeah.
And I assume that has to be added to
I queried this with the clerk just this afternoon, and then actually answered the question in my own head, because we reclaim that, even if it doesn't say it. Yeah, yeah. So so if it does include that, which I can't think that would, then it will be even less. But if we assume that there's VAT on top, two of the quotes, in actual fact, Hampshire's and Philip Walker's, don't include that. Councillor Ranger.
We've used Philip Walker before recently in terms of VCC, as you correctly stated. He turned up very quick, did the report, a very thorough report, I thought. I would propose that we take Philip Walker's quote and move forward.
Everybody finished discussing? Anyone want to raise anything else? Councillor Clay, what do you wish to
I'm happy to
raise?
second that, but it'd be interesting that comes out of the report. What we could do with the tree once it's been, what the recommendation is. I wonder what we could do with that.
I like your thinking.
So I
Absolutely.
propose, I second, because it looks like a good shape, and it's quite aged, and it's quite recognised. So what can we
It's
keep
kind of the
perhaps?
last sort of tribute you can do, is to keep it, isn't it, in some way?
Perhaps,
Yeah.
perhaps with the proposal. Oh, no, that's fine.
Right, let's go for the
I make a
proposal.
proposal that we go with Philip.
Are you making the same proposal which was seconded? If not, you'll have to withdraw
I'll withdraw my proposal.
your proposal. Do you agree to the proposal
If
being
Councillor Ranger
withdrawn?
wishes to withdraw, then I'll
Okay,
propose
would you
one.
like to make a new proposal?
I would like to make a new proposal, Chair. I
Then
would
please
propose
do.
that we accept Philip Walker's quote, but we also ask him that he remain part of the stump and presumably make it into a feature.
At the moment, you need to figure out whether the tree is ill or not.
It's
There's no decision about any work on it.
That's right, we don't know that.
that if
Subsequently, I'll withdraw that
If-
proposal.
right.
Go back to
Okay, that you don't need to, because it wasn't seconded. So no, third time lucky. Try again.
I propose we accept Philip Walker's quote to do a tree survey on that tree.
Second.
Can I have a show of hands, all those in favour? Well done, everybody. Always good to test the chair's knowledge of accepting proposals. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing really, really well. Right, can we attend to the agenda then, please? 7.3, more tree works. Okay, our good old favourite, the skeleton oak. So we, at the last meeting, we actually resolved to get an additional quote to the one provided by Tree Works, which our clerk Julie did. So we have the original quote that we reviewed in last committee. Councillor Lewington, Councillor Ranger. So we have the original quote from Tree Works that we reviewed in the last committee at 1,200 ex-VAT. Our clerk obtained a second quote from Climbers Way, which has come out at 1,658 ex-VAT. Discuss and determine action. Yes, Francis.
Right, I did actually get a third quote which arrived too late for me to circulate, but it's the same as the Tree Works quote, 1,200, but it is a company we've not used before.
Okay. Okay, so I know that we use the term preferred supplier actually in a way within council incorrectly, that it's not a preferred supplier in terms of I would understand it in commercial corporate scenario. When we talk about a preferred supplier, we're more talking about somebody who has undertaken repeated work for us and have built a trustworthy, value-led relationship with us, which can change. I would place Treeworks, who have always done really good quality work for us, at quite often what comes in as highly competitively priced. I would place them in that trusted supplier as opposed to preferred supplier, and I think that's the term we need to start potentially using. Councillor Ranger, I think you were first.
Do I read these quotes correctly that one refers to the removal but also a totem pole or monolith pole, and then the other one doesn't? So I'm not sure that we're comparing quote for quote, apples to apples.
No, they both refer to monolith.
A monolith.
Yeah.
So both refer to the monolith, and the monolith is not the after carving. The monolith is what it's left with. It's my impersonation of the tree. Councillor Clay was next.
Sorry, Councillor.
And then it was Councillor Betts.
I would just like to follow on.
Or Councillor Vickers, take your pick.
Who is first?
It was Councillor Betts first.
Okay. So I just would like to take your point about the fact that Treeworks are not our preferred, but do good work. The next item is the works at 13 the Smithy. I think as the other quote that Francis got is the same as Treeworks, and they're going to be in the village, could they not sort of like be a little bit more competitive with Smithy and as they're in the village?
I've just a point. We will discuss the item 7.4 in order. We can't bring that into the discussion. We cannot bring that into the discussion about the quotes for the skeleton oak.
Okay.
All right, I'm sorry about that. I understand what you're saying, but we have to go in this manner.
No.
It's Councillor Betts.
Yeah, so maybe this is slightly off topic as well, but I think in terms of having this repeat work and multiple work, and I appreciate the effort of going out and getting another proposal, and actually it returned even more expensive, and I remember our prior discussion was this is very expensive. Now I've gone out and looked, it's even more. So I think Treeworks is probably a good quote. They've misspelled Whiteley though to their own address. So that's not great. But
We will point this out to them and ask for a discount further. Yeah.
I'd like to say for future meetings, maybe an agenda item, is there scope to move towards a provider model? Because on analyse, or if we look back, because it must take a lot of your time to get all these quotes, and if we just have one and an overarching annual contract.
I don't know. I think it's a really great idea. I don't know what our legal process is for a local government, but we'll leave that with our clerk if it's agreed. I'm going to take Councillor Clay first, and then I'm going to come to you.
Okay. I propose that we go ahead with Treeworks quote.
Okay, and then just our clerk, please.
In response to your point, the trouble isn't the time. The problem is that we keep asking people for quotes, and if they don't get the work, they stop giving quotes, and that then means I have to search the internet for other people I can ask quotes for, which is why going back, the drop post are two companies we've never used because they were the two I could get to give me quotes, and I asked about 15 for quotes, and that's the problem I have.
We have Councillor Griffin. I've not forgotten your proposal, Councillor Griffin.
Is there a way we can get these companies, if we turn around and say to your preferred user, is there a way to get a lower price on it?
I think that the discussions on being a preferred supplier would establish a special relationship where one might expect mutual benefit. But that would be a very specific discussion on that. Councillor Ranger.
I would if Councillor Clay made a proposal on tree works, I would second that.
It was Councillor Betts who made the.
I propose that we go and accept Tree Works.
Okay.
That was my proposal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I made a comment
I-
about competitive tender.
Yes. So are you making an amendment?
I didn't, no, I thought I spoke first.
I have to say, I thought you made the proposal.
Yeah, the word
To accept-
proposal, that's why I came in with my proposal. You have to say
Right.
proposal.
I
If you
thought I
don't,
heard it. I
then,
thought I heard it.
yeah,
I
sorry.
propose at a future meeting we discuss or we investigate. So let's get this right around.
The quote. The
Okay, so
quote
firstly,
first.
I propose that we accept the tree works and then let's go back also and look at how much we've spent and then think about how we could look at beneficial competitive tender onwards.
Can I perhaps word that to accept the quote from Tree Works and to investigate further around preferred supplier and bring back to committee on that matter. Does that work for you, Francis?
Okay.
Because we don't, as a council, as far as I'm aware, have any preferred suppliers. Anyway, that's another matter. We used to have, yeah. Okay. That's not on our agenda, so I digress. So, have we voted on that?
No.
Okay, so can I have a show of hands, all those in favour? And that's you. Can I have a... Okay, sorry, we don't... Yeah. Councillor Clay? Sure. Right. We had a seconded proposal. Can I have a show of hands, all those in favour? And that's unanimous. Right. Okay, great stuff. Oh, goodness me, right. So, item 7.4. More trees. So, item 7.4. Tree works at Cottage Close and the Smithy. More trees, more quotes. You really get a sense of the cost of all this work to us, to our precept payers. To consider the quotes received to carry out the works permitted by Winchester City Council to TPO trees at the rear of Cottage Close and adjacent to the Smithy. Consider and determine action. So once again we have a selection of quotes. Okay, so we have...
There are 3 quotes, just the Tree Works one is in 2 parts.
Yeah. So Tree Works is separated for the Cottage Close and the Smithy. So in total, it is actually
1,400.
Yes. So the total quote for the 2 pieces of work from Tree Works is 1,400. Climbers Way, 1,600. 1,370, and the third quote actually comes from a company called 12 Tree, and their quote comes out as a total 17 X VAT. So I put that one there. So we've got 1,400 from our trusted supplier, Tree Works. We have 1,370 from Climbers Way. And then the more expensive quote quite considerably from 12 Tree. There's a Councillor Ranger.
Based on the last discussions, I would go straight to a proposal that we just accept the Tree Works quote.
Just very
Councillor Bowen.
Councillor
Councillor Betts.
I was just going to say, I'm sort of inclined to agree, but I think that were we looking to do a tender process, one way to bias the tender process would be to have a preferred supplier going in. So I'm actually minded to use the cheapest quote, but that's predicated on having used them before, just by a margin of £30.
Councillor Bowen.
Just on the conversation we had earlier on about trees overhanging someone's driveway, and we said they're well within their rights to do some work on that. Some of this work is to do trees overhanging someone's driveway, so we're contradicting ourselves from earlier on to this now.
Our clerk would like to comment.
These are TPO trees, and that's the difference.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like Councillor Vickers. Councillor Vickers.
I'm very much with Councillor Betts really, because I think, given what you said, Francis, about the fact that it's hard to get sort of thing, you know, if tree works for them not to be around, we put all our eggs in one basket and they are our preferred, or they, you know, there's nothing in place. Plus I think that this Climbers Way is coming quite competitively against tree works. I wonder if there's any merit going back to tree works and asking them to relook at their quote. Because they do an awful lot of work for us and we spend an awful lot of money and we just blindly accept their quotes every time. I have a little bit of a problem with tree works, if I'm honest.
We don't, I mean, if we look collectively over their quotes compared to other suppliers' quotes, we've actually saved a phenomenal amount of money through accepting TreeWorks. TreeWorks do I've actually met on site with TreeWorks when we were looking at some very difficult trees that had sensitive visual amenity, and I was very struck by the level of care towards the sensitive pruning to do the correct job for the council, but also to do it extremely well. I think if I was TreeWorks, that have also been very loyal to us and very quick in response sometimes when we've needed it, and very patient with our slow process as well, how painfully slow we can take to reach a decision. If I was TreeWorks and I then found out that we'd gone to somebody else, I think I'd be a bit upset. But Francis,
we have used Climbers Way before. We used them for a TPO tree in Ashling Park. Those that were on the committee may remember we had a tree that was damaged and had where a branch had come off, there was a huge hole that was a habitat for stag beetles. And they did the part removal of that tree.
And was it satisfactorily done?
Yes.
I just think that either we need to negotiate a little bit more effectively with TreeWorks, or we, go Climbers Way. That's my view.
Councillor Bowen.
My understanding of our job on council is to make sure we get value for money for the precept, and in doing so we have tendered the contract out to three contractors. The cheapest quote to come in. It isn't TreeWorks. Suck it up. That's business. Next time, sharpen your pencil a bit better and come back with a better quote next time.
Yeah.
It's a shot across the bow. So my proposal is we go for Climbers Way Tree Care because it's the cheapest quote.
Second.
Can we ensure we finish discussion? So council does not have to accept the cheapest quotes. We accept the quote that we consider to be the best value all round. I certainly don't want to upset these guys because they TreeWorks, but we have a proposal. It's been seconded. Can we have a show of hands? All of those in favour that the quote for Climbers Way Tree Care is accepted, and those against, and those abstaining. 9.1. Fair bit to rattle through yet, so right, hopefully these will be. So the play areas, King George V play area, Gate Springs. Hopefully this one will be fairly quick to get through. So we have a quote for the springs, returning springs on the gate so that they automatically close because they are broken. We don't have a choice to do them or not. We have a quote there for £766 to get these done. Consider and determine action. And Councillor
We've only
Ranger.
got the one quote, I believe, on those, right? So, I mean, we do need to have the springs on the gates. If we've used this particular company before, I'm guessing we have, I would propose that we accept the quote and move on.
Francis.
Just to clarify, they are their gates, so we cannot get springs from another supplier.
Okay, so we have a proposal. Any other comments before we move to voting? Okay, do I have a seconder? And a show of hands, all those in favour to accept the quote. And that's unanimous. So, 9.2. King George V play area and new swings. So, please God, let's actually get these swings done. And we have some new bitsy
You
bobsies.
might just share, I'm afraid I didn't do quite enough.
I'll share with you. Is it the two same? Two new quotes. Cross those round.
Have you already got the
Okay. So we need to get this done. We've been without these swings for so long. To consider the quote received from the supplier for the supply of 6, but that's actually how many?
Yeah, you've got the new quote now, so
Yeah.
it's 5 flat seats, 1 seat with chains,
Yeah.
so it's still 6 seats, but we only need 1 set of chains and 2 of the fixing mechanisms because we've got the rest.
Okay. So the quote that we had,
Is now 1224 instead
Yeah.
of 19 something or
so
other.
it came down. So that's what's needed. Comments, please, Councillor Ranger.
Any idea what an EU processing fee is for £150?
I wanted to know that.
Probably
Because they come from outside
imported.
the UK.
Yeah.
Well, I would suggest gracefully that we go back and tell them. I mean, that's of all the quotes we've had, all the stuff that comes outside of Northern UK, we've never had an EU processing fee. I agree we need the swings, absolutely, right? And I don't want to hold up the swing thing, but I'm absolutely disgusted that they put an EU processing fee on it. So much so that I don't think we should accept that quote, but I don't want to delay the thoughts.
Any further comments? Show of hands, please. Show of hands if you wish to speak, please, just so we can keep proper protocol. Councillor Betts.
Although I do agree, I think it's a bit cheeky. If you have a cost of business, you don't generally put it as a pass-through cost and invoice to customers. But assuming that the quote meets the budget and we have the fund, and I think having swings is better than not having swings. So maybe we have a strongly worded email, although you're accepting quotes, not much you can do. But I'm under the impression that we've only got the one point where it's another one where it's a single supplier, so they haven't set it up well.
Thank you. Councillor Boland.
Completely agree with Councillor Betts, and to Councillor Ranger's point, the next quote will just come back with that bit missing and everything else all adding up to the 253. So it's just going to be passed on one way or another.
Councillor Lundin.
You mentioned that we could claim that back, given that the EU processing fee is the fee charged by the UK government. Can we not claim it back?
I don't know.
I don't know if we can claim that, can we?
Look, okay, can I make a proposal that we accept the quote, but we strongly challenge the EU processing fee, and if they say tough, then we just go ahead. Would that be acceptable?
I think it's perfectly reasonable. I don't think it's their choice. It's a government tax. It's a UK tax.
But if that makes everybody feel better, that we're going to make our point
Yes,
strongly.
that's your proposal.
Okay, seconder, or show of hands, all those in favour? That's unanimous. Swings are on their way. It's been too long. Too long. 9.5. So, in the 9.5, the wet put 9.3. 9.3. Where's it
barriers.
gone? It's here.
The padded swing bit.
That's there. I was so keen to move on. Right. So 9.3. The swing barriers. To consider the cost of purchasing the 6 swing barriers. For the when I finish reading out what we're discussing. For the new swings at the playground, to consider and determine action, and our clerk would like to speak.
This is just a reminder that we have not had swings on this piece of equipment for quite some time because the inspection held that there was a high risk of injury to children jumping off inwards because it's a 6 swing unit. What these will do is they will go on the inside chain. So if a child is facing inwards, they can't jump off because the barrier is there to stop them, or they will jump outwards because they'll be sitting on the seat the other way round, which is why we can now put all the swings back on. So this is our solution.
Can you remind us how long we've been without swings now?
November 23, I think it was.
And here we are. Councillor Ranger.
Proposal accepted.
That is, thank you. Any other comments? Any seconders? Lots of seconders. All those in favour of accepting the quote, thank you very much. Unanimous. I've still got enough. Right.
Where's the danger of the risk?
9.3, 9.3, 9.4. Have I done 9.3 now? The cricket club would have settled. Right, we've covered, gentlemen, we've covered 9.4 cricket club, so we move on now to 9.5. King George V play area, the wet pour, to consider the quotes received for replacing the existing surface under 3 pieces of equipment, which is the rocker rotator, the carousel bowl, and the swing toddlers, the toddler swing, to consider and determine action. Can you pass those updated quotes around, please, Councillor Bowman? So just to highlight that these were the items that were highlighted within our playground safety report. And so wet pour, as I think you're all aware now, is that sort of rubbery surface. Okay. So the new quote that's just been handed round from Elite now
8,050.
Yeah. That's expat, and that replaces that one. Yeah, because we've
taken out the cable runway.
Yeah. So, and the cable runway was by far, across all quotes, the most considerably expensive item, and it's actually considered that the cable runway, a rubber wet pour surface, is not appropriate because it would be worn out and ruined very, very quickly. So that's a discussion for another day, what we do with that area, but it may just be topping up the existing surface. Coming back to this matter at hand, to consider the quotes received for those 3 items. So we have. Where's my other quotes gone there? So we have one total of,
What's that?
yes, that one's out. What's the total number across
It's
that?
those three. So
6, 9.
so it's about 16.
Yeah, that's even without that one. We did look at these, and that one is. Oh, but we don't like this anyway. Okay, so I'll just explain that one of your quotes is safe for mulch, and this is not an appropriate surface again. It's kind of more or less what we've got down there anyway, which it's this stuff that the grass grows up through, and these tend to get pushed down into the wet soil over winter, disappear, and they just don't do the job. But it is one of the quotes that we got just so you could see. So we're looking across Elite, which for the comparative three pieces across both of the existing quotes, then the remaining quotes 8,050 extra from Elite, and an equivalent in terms of the three pieces being done of 16,000 approximately from ESP Play. So, Councillor Ranger.
History. Have we used either Elite or ESP before?
No, we haven't, because the only place we have had wet pour is at Hatchmore, and that was done by the supplier when they put the new play area in.
On that basis, have either of these committed to have these? I'm very conscious that whoever we choose, if we do choose, then I wouldn't want this to go and be done in the summer holidays. So timing, there's timing of this work being taken into account with any of your discussions with the two suppliers?
It would be the same as anything. If it wasn't done within the 3 months, we'd have to re-quote, wouldn't it be?
Or move it over the summer holidays to the autumn.
It'd be nice to have it for the summer.
But that's where I was going. I mean, I wouldn't want the facilities shut for the summer holidays.
Our clerk is desperate to say something.
Don't hold me to this, but I'm fairly certain that the guy from Elite sent me an email to say that they thought they could do it before Easter if we were quick with getting back to them. But I will have a conversation with him tomorrow if you decide to go with him, and I will have a conversation with ESP if you decide to go with them. And see who can do it, when they can do it.
Councillor Bowen.
My only point with both of these, there seem to be some sort of rubber or bitumen-based fees, and the prices of that is going to skyrocket over the next couple of weeks. So these quotes will not remain extant for long.
Very
so
good point.
If you are going to make a decision, the decision needs to be made soon, because this is going to change quite rapidly. So the price of these will change 15 pence a litre yesterday.
Oh, damn, I needed to top up. Excellent point. Very good point. Any other comments, please? Yes, please.
Councillor Ranger. Accept the Elite quotation.
And
if they can do it sooner rather than later, ideally before Easter, and not have it shut for Easter, or certainly before the summer holidays, would be fantastic.
Do we have a seconder?
Second.
And do we have a show of hands, all those in favour to accept the Elite quote? I think Sam's point is very clear. I had to stop myself leaping into another agenda item because there is something we need to potentially, it's the same piece of equipment, isn't it? That wooden post.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to, okay, we'll come to that. I'm going to leave that there. Thank you, everybody. Okay, 9.7.
1.6.
9.6, we have to extend at 9:30, don't we?
Yes, that's all right, we'll get through it.
Yeah. 9.6, Tanner's View play area. To refer, this is the tender process for the construction of the new play area to full council. Okay. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favour? well, we have the proposal to refer it. It's kind of a seconder, and all those in favour. Thank you very much. Timber posts, and this was my observation. So timber posts. So we have some timbers that are needing attention, some that are going to need attention at some point. To consider the quotes received from the supplier for the supply and installation of replacement timber posts. I have just noted that the piece of play equipment that one of the rubber poor surfaces goes around is the same piece of equipment that we need to replace a post on, which I'm assuming, if you can confirm, it's the Bay 2 cradle swing. Is that the toddler swing? In which case we need to make sure that the post is replaced first and then it's poured. Are we talking about the same? Sorry everybody. I'm assuming the cradle seat swing is the toddler swing, which is what's mentioned.
It's the one that's got the little
in
swing
here.
and it's the 2 base swing.
Right. Okay, we'll have to double check on that.
That's
We can
that's not, that's not necessarily
progress.
a problem because
Yeah,
you can
we can
repair
progress.
wet pool.
Yes, you can, but it would be rather ridiculous for the council. It'd be a bit like when they lay internet cables, they lay a nice new pavement and then they dig it up. We can be smarter than that. We can make sure that the new rubber surface does not get dug up a week later to replace a wooden post. That is my point, committee, if you were wondering. So to consider the quotes for the posts, Councillor Betts.
So I can't see the header, but I'm assuming it's the same supplier as previously. So if we were to combine into one order, can we just pay one processing fee and delivery? Not both, because it's quite expensive delivery. So if we can bundle this stuff, then let's do that.
That's £300 for the EU processing fee, isn't it?
Yeah.
The council Livingston's going to pay that back for us.
Oh, if we end up looking at 300 quid across the 2 orders, yeah, I mean that's
It's not insignificant.
that's 2 years. That's 2 extra years rent free for the scouts at Kidmore Field. Francis.
My concern with that would be that the replacement timbers will be coming from Scandinavia. So if we're going to do it as one delivery, then
Different places.
Your swings will be held up for 3 months while they get the wood from Scandinavia.
But
There.
just to come back on that, is that the swing that you're referring to that I need to wait for the pour? Because maybe that's not the end of the world.
No, they're not the ones
It's
that
the
you...
Easter swings.
Sorry?
It's the Easter swings, isn't it?
Sorry,
The
the...
ones that we're going to... Oh, no, sorry. No.
Right.
No, it's the swings are on the 6 swing unit and that isn't going to have wet pool.
Yeah, and
If I can also say that the post number 10, which they've got there, doesn't actually need replacing, it just needs monitoring. And that is a very big timber that bends.
We think that's
so we think that's going to be the one that's
most
going
expensive.
to cost
Yeah.
the most to install, which is why the installation figure. I have asked for another new quote and I'm just waiting for it.
So we do think, because of the curved nature of that pole, we being Francis and I, that does form quite a significant part, because I was horrified at that price when I saw it, bit of wood. That piece is for monitor only. So we could be good for another 2-3 years. It needs monitoring. It doesn't need immediate replacement. So bear in mind that this quote will go down, not up. And I'm also conscious of Councillor Boland's comments. So that freight shipping, if this is coming from Scandinavia, if we delay and end up having to get requoted, that will go up as well. It's a lot of money, but we have to do it. Yeah. Do we have a proposal? I can see we're not all super excited about this one, and I share that, but Councillor Ranger.
An alternative, do we? I mean, we don't have any other quotes.
There's no.
Number one.
Can't go.
We've either got to accept it and go with it, or reject it. And then if we reject it, we're only doing half the job with the play park anyway, right? So it feels to me that we're damned if we do and damned if we don't on this one.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
reluctantly, I would have to propose it.
I agree. I want to move to the vote, if I may. Is there a seconder for the proposal? Okay, and a show of hands, all those
Sorry,
reluctant...
Before you vote, can I just check what you're actually
We are
voting on?
voting to accept the quote, but accepting that, it's
What,
going...
including post 10?
No, it's going to come down.
That's what I'm clarifying,
Yes.
because that's not what Councillor
Okay.
Ranger said.
That we will accept the quote,
The reduced quote,
the reduced quote
when it arrives.
when it arrives. Councillor Ranger, do you want to withdraw that previous... Was it seconded? It was. And rephrase it so we accept the reduced quote
I will withdraw my proposal.
and make a new one?
I will make a new one. And I propose that we accept the quote minus the post 10, because we have a new quote waiting for that.
Okay, do we have a seconder? And a show of hands, all those in favour, albeit reluctantly, and that's unanimous.
Thank you.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because we're over a wooden barrel. Although it's nice,
Or a post,
you know.
we're over a post.
That was what I meant, a wooden barrel, yeah.
Yes.
Right,
The whole financial placing, but there we go.
so, well done everybody. 10, do we have any incidents to
Not that I'm aware
report?
of.
Not that
have
I'm
been
aware of.
reported to me.
Social media posts, anybody got any, let's try and stick to
Swings.
one or two. The swings seems a good one. It's been waited for so long, people have complained.
Yes.
So a short post to say, we're doing it, when we've done it, fanfare,
Also, I think
okay?
you need to think about the park, the floor and the wet pour stuff on them.
Yeah,
As soon as we got the date
Yeah.
confirmed, because if it's going to be Easter, I think you mentioned Francis before Easter.
Again, we don't want to set expectation.
No, but as soon as we know the date,
Yeah.
then we should go public with that. on
I'll be
social
happy
media.
to draft a thing for that again.
And I'd like a narrative about the skeleton tree and the monolith again.
Sorry?
I'd like a narrative about the skeleton tree and the monolith again, because I think there will be a little bit of a outcry about the felling.
How do you want that position as a
Well, I think we have
because it's not going to be
I think
felled.
we
It's
have
not being felled. It's being turned into a
Yeah, but I
monolith.
think we have to
Give that positive spin.
give that
Okay.
positive nature of
Yeah.
of
Yeah, I'm with you.
why we've got to do it, but what we are
I
going
understand.
to do
We've
with
got,
it.
we've got one
Okay.
and got 1.5 minutes before we have to extend. So the monolith. Again, I'll be happy to come up with draft if committee's happy with that.
All right.
Right, any matters for the next agenda? Of course, you can let our clerk know next time. Councillor Lewington, my goodness, we've got 1.5 minutes.
First of all, the Environment Agency are crushing a piece of ground by the Liverpool at the moment. They've turned it into a compound. It's all soggy. It's going to be ugly. We might want to discuss how we'd like to put that together at the next meeting.
Can I ask that you give that information with those
Photo?
the maps that you sent to me to Francis, please?
Okay, the next one is, I think we should discuss the landscape policy.
Yes.
And whilst rewriting the landscape policy, two subsidiary questions in that. The willow structure is becoming rather untidy. It appears it's becoming untidy because no one maintains it anymore. We probably ought to have a policy on that. And I can't find anything about our policy on nature reserves. Do we have one?
Okay.
we don't have a point.
Is that all the items to put on the next agenda? Fantastic. I think they're all great items. It may be that actually the last one is a question. Is there a policy on the nature reserves that Francis can answer outside? But we'll consider those things for the next agenda. And, wow, 6-second break. Thank you very much, everybody. Goodness me, that was an hour.